Okay, and welcome to the GLOBIS Stories podcast. I'm your host, Kingsley Noadam, joined by current GLOBIS student, Nick Takeda. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Kingsley. Good to be here today.
Please tell me a little bit about yourself and what brought you to GLOBIS.
So, born and raised in Indonesia / Texas. Came here to GLOBIS in 2019 to continue my uni. I was originally born in Indonesia, so I'm half. Had to pick between my Indonesian and Japanese passport. Went with my Japanese passport because it's just easier to travel around the world.
Right.
Came to Japan 2019. Went to uni in Hosei, nearby, just around the corner in Ichigaya. Graduated 2022. And of course, 2019 going into 2020, COVID happened.
Yeah.
We went fully online, so I went, you know what? Might as well do some remote work for a friend in Canada. And then once the restrictions calmed down a bit, I spent about 8 months in Canada working with him. Came back 2023 to do some photo work. And then that's sort of where my career as a photographer now started. So I started doing some initially contract photo work for a company. And then now I started sort of freelancing, and then now I sort of stumbled into a media consulting position. And that's where I am now.
Oh, that's great. So then you seem to have a pretty eventful history there. A lot of things to juggle. But like, what made you get into photography in the first place?
Initially, it was my hobby. And then because it was my hobby, one of my friends was like, hey, I know these guys who need a photographer for this upcoming event. Can you do it? I'm like, sure, why not?
Yeah.
And then from that point on, it sort of just snowballed along, and then, yeah.
And so what did you study? Is that what you studied in school, or were you just doing it as a hobby and then it grew into a business on its own?
The latter, to be honest. I studied business administration in Hosei, and then now I'm in GLOBIS. And the reason I joined GLOBIS is because I sort of want to expand my operations and sort of really, instead of just photography, I want to move into just media.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how's GLOBIS been? How's your experience been helping you to do that so far?
It's been great so far, honestly. The biggest gain, despite the pain that I feel going through this, all of the accounting stuff. It's numbers have always been my weak point, and then
You're in good company here.
Yeah, numbers have always been my weak point, and then GLOBIS, through good and bad, has sort of forced me to learn how to actually read numbers. So since I used to just throw it all at my accountant, now I'm sort of actually reading through my statements and sort of reading through my balance sheets and everything, and I'm actually understanding things now.
Well, that's very rewarding.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. How has the transition from like an undergraduate business program to the graduate level been for you?
I suppose the people you're working with, the people you're studying with is a lot different, since in the postgraduate sort of master's degree, you're working with people who have experience, people who work. And so everybody's sort of juggling these things. So especially in like group projects, it's sort of like everybody has to sort of make some time to do the group project together. Or if it's just like a solo report thingy, I have to find some time to just sort of, since I'm working as a photographer and sort of media consultant, my hours are I have to make some time to make these reports. And it's like, sometimes, especially the numbers reports, they take up to like 12 hours, and then over the course of like a couple weeks, I'm just looking at this big old spreadsheet.
How do you manage that? It sounds like a lot to juggle.
Lots of caffeine.
Wow, it's spoken like a true businessman.
Yeah. With the reports, I usually start like 3-4 weeks ahead of time to at least go. The case studies they give us are long.
Yeah.
I'm a slow reader. So I give myself plenty of time to actually read and actually digest the words that I'm reading instead of just reading them,
So I think that, it's good to give yourself that allotment, and the self-awareness is very important of like, the way in which you work best. Can you give an example of what it's like to study one of the cases for our audience and if they're considering pursuing a degree?
usually in Globis there's like what 6 classes
Yeah.
over, and there's if you're taking the part-time course at least it's like once every 2 weeks. So those 2 weeks are very quite lenient, but I try to sort of structure my classes so that they're all like within the same week.
Oh, so that's a grueling week, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you have like a whole weekend free to do all of this like preparation, coursework, and pre-assignments that you have to do. And then if with a class with a report, it's probably best to start preparing or at least reading it by the time you finish the second day. That's what I usually do at least. But of course, sometimes life happens and I can't do that, and then I have to cram a report like 2 days before it's due.
Yeah, I feel like that was my college experience. A lot of cramming it right at the last minute. And then you're balancing that with your media consultancy and your photography. What's a day in the life of that like?
It honestly really depends if I'm going to meet a client, going to a shoot, or if I'm just staying home and editing pictures, editing videos, stuff like that. So if I'm going on a shoot, usually I have to take the Shinkansen somewhere or take the train somewhere and go somewhere, like physically. That on those days I physically can't do any schoolwork, right?
Right.
But if I'm meeting a client, I usually try to arrange my client meetings to all go in the same day. Or in the event of a client, say for like a chamber of commerce for someone in like Europe, I try to arrange it so that it's in a time where it's like in the morning, so I can have the rest of the day to myself to either edit, do some other work, arrange meetings, or just do my coursework.
Nice. And then, what are some of your favorite experiences in your photography work?
Personally,
Yeah.
if it's like a event, so say like a networking event for like a bank or maybe like a charity event, eating the food, sort of sneak in, since usually these events, these big money events like banks, they have these like events for their employees every now and then where they have like charity and people, drink, eat good food. So usually the organizers, they're pretty nice and they let the photographer, me, sort of sneak a bite every now and then,
That's always a nice perk.
Yeah.
We did an event at the Tanzanian embassy, and we were filming video there, and they had like a meal for the students, and they let us have some. It was incredible.
Yeah.
What's the best thing you ever ate at one of those events?
Ooh, since I'm from Texas, right? I haven't had Southern food in a long time. And at the Intercontinental, they had this Cajun chef come in.
Oh, wait, hold on. I need to know. I'm from North Carolina. I need to
Yeah.
know about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I forget his name, but he came in and he did this entire like Southern themed like course dinner. I've never seen that before. It's like, wow, it's like a 5-star hotel, but they're serving soul food.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I don't know how he did it, but he managed to get catfish in.
Oh, wow.
And so I asked him during the event, where did you get this stuff? Since he had cornbread, everything, the whole 9 yards, and like brisket even. So I asked him, where do you get this? And it's like, oh, it's super easy to get nowadays. You just got to know the right people.
So as long as you have a catfish guy. then
Yeah, if you
you're-
have a catfish guy, then you have catfish.
Yeah, there you go.
If you know a guy who sells like meat, then you got brisket.
Fair enough.
But I don't have a catfish guy.
Yeah. Man, that's a networking opportunity that we need to take advantage of. So you grew up in Indonesia and Texas.
Yep.
And one of your parents is Japanese.
Yep.
Did they teach you Japanese growing up at home, or did you study that when you?
I studied that when I came to Japan.
Okay. How's that been going?
I mean, I can speak Japanese. Reading is a whole different story, though.
Yeah.
Since, when you look at the kanji, you're like, oh, I know what this means, but I don't know how to read it.
Right. Yeah.
Since, the different types of readings, how to connect them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been quite a few times where I've looked at a document and like, oh yeah, this has something to do with banking, and I know, but if you told me to read it, to you, absolutely.
I can read the hiragana fine.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for people who want to improve their Japanese?
Watch the news.
Why is that?
Because I feel like in my morning routine, sort of wake up, turn on like a radio. I don't have a TV. And then, so I sort of just turn on like either like a Japanese podcast or maybe a news radio thing. And then I sort of go about my morning routine, make my coffee, and then just listen to Japanese and sort of just immerse myself in Japanese. And of course, using Japanese.
Also, I wanted to ask if you have gotten into any of the kokorozashi parts of the coursework.
Just the initial stages. I'm still really trying to find out what my kokorozashi is.
So, for the audience, if you don't know, kokorozashi is a personal mission. So, at GLOBIS, we encourage people to find and hone their kokorozashi in order to guide them in their path through their business success. So, I know you said you're starting to try to find yours. Like, what's your process been like so far, if you don't mind me asking?
Honestly, I'm still thinking about it. It's like I'm thinking about why I like photography the best, and why I continue stubbornly pushing this career path, even though sometimes it's like, oh, Jesus Christ, I just worked 14 hours.
Yeah.
I want to sleep.
Yeah.
I want to go home, but I've got another 14-hour day tomorrow.
But you still enjoy it.
Yeah, but I still enjoy it, and I'm like, why? And then recently, in one of my classes, marketing and strategy class, the professor told me, "So what's your key success factor?" And I went, "What is my key success factor? Why? Why am I making money?"
Do you think I mean, I would imagine it has something to do with your talent, or?
That, and I suppose it's sort of just my ability to schmooze with people.
That's an underrated skill, honestly.
Right? Yeah. And because like all of these events I go to, I tend to take my pictures, hit my KPIs, hit what the client wants, and then I sort of just schmooze, talk to people, really get to know them, and then since with these events, you tend to go, once you get one, you tend to go every year.
Right.
So it's sort of like you know someone, and then that someone knows someone who needs you, and then that sort of gets the ball rolling. But I think like kokorozashi is really just somewhere along the lines of getting to know people and keeping people happy and keeping their trust in me as like a photographer and a media consultant. Something along those lines. I haven't found the exact words for it, but
it's something related to like connection or something.
Yeah.
Nice. And then, what got you started in photography, though?
Film cameras.
Like you just happened to stumble upon one day. And...
I was in shop class, so I really liked working on mechanical things. Coming to Japan, cars are expensive.
Right.
Parking's expensive, and then taxes.
Yeah.
On taxes and permits.
Yeah.
And even getting a license here is expensive because I can't transfer my Indonesian license to a Japanese one, or it's a very long process and it's too much. So I thought, I want to continue with my mechanical sort of tinkering. So I went to like called Used Camera Box over in Shinjuku. So I bought the old camera there, and from that point on, I was like, hey, these new cameras, you can adapt these old lenses I have onto them, and then from that point on, I sort of started really enjoying photography.
Nice. So it all kind of came from that, like, need to get your hands involved in your work or something.
Yeah. That sort of mechanical chunk is really satisfying.
Yeah. And then the pictures were kind of immaterial to that, or?
I sort of just started posting on my own, like Instagram, and then people started liking it, and I was like, I might be good at this.
Right. Yeah. And how did you go from that? Like you mentioned, your friend asked if you wanted to help with an event when you started. What was the process of like getting started as a business, collecting invoices, doing that kind of thing? How did you manage all of that?
So initially, my friend, he runs this entire thing, and he's like, I just need a photographer. I'll pay you, and then this and all that. And then after that, I got connected with my mentor, and then she sort of taught me how to do everything. So how to do invoices, how to make sure you get paid, how to make sure your clients don't, mess with you.
Right.
Really just how to like do everything properly, do the taxes properly. And then sort of my mentor sort of taught me all of that.
And how did you meet your mentor?
Through the guy who needed me for an event. She was also one of the photographers there. So we sort of started talking, and then I was initially under her as a sort of second photographer, a second shooter, as we call it. And then so I just learned a lot under her. Polished up my skills, how to frame, how to skulk around the place without being, noticed. But really how to talk to people too, because talking to people at these events, usually the events I do are like corporate events. So these people are like, way beyond my tax bracket. So learning how to talk to these people while being like sort of under them in a weird sense.
Like, are you talking about it in terms of like speaking in Japanese or just in general?
In general, like status, like you can't really talk casually to an ambassador unless you've got like real nerves, right? Yeah.
So, do you have any advice for people who are in that situation?
The best advice she gave to me was sort of just remember things about them. If you met someone for the first time, you chat with them, you get to know them, and then the next time you meet them, you be like, hey, you were working on X and X, so and so. How's that going? And then that shows them you really remember them, and you really sort of like you really paid attention to them the last time you met them. There was this, I don't know who he was, but he appeared on TV at one point. And then first time I met him, he had a beard. Second time, he didn't have a beard. So I asked him, oh, did you shave your beard? Why did you shave your beard? It was really nice. He was like, oh, I had to go on TV, and so they asked me to shave it. And then he seemed very appreciative, and his wife seemed very, oh, wow, you really remembered. And that sort of led to another event that I shot.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. And then one of the things we ask all of our guests is, if you could go back and give your younger self some advice, what would it be?
Buy Bitcoin.
I mean, yeah, that's good advice. But anything more tangible that a person now could take advantage of?
I guess the best advice would be speak louder, be more confident in your tone, and then sort of just like don't be too nervous around people who are like beyond your tax bracket, because they're at the end of the day people too.
Right. Okay. That's excellent advice. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
Remember to like the video, comment, subscribe, and we will see you next time. Bye.